Right, and so that's really what coaching is. It's like you have to believe what I'm telling you in order for the relationship to work.
That's a lot.
Feel free to call in 804-215-1555. We're having an awesome discussion here with Coach Harris along with Trey Sitter and myself. And we hope y'all enjoying who you got so far. This is our inaugural episode. So we only gonna get better from here. And we greatly appreciate everybody rocking with us on this Saturday morning. Initially started off having more along the lines of like, just typical barbershop talk, but this became very informative very quickly, and I'm glad because it's a lot of parents out there in our generation who have kids, like you said, your nephew and other young men and women who are coming up now, man, and I think they can benefit from this information because these are things that we don't discuss enough. Yeah. And rather than just talking about LeBron and Jordan and, guys who've already established themselves.
It's how they got there.
Exactly. The kids need to see the road maps and understand that there's more than just Broad Street to get to Charlottesville.
Come on now.
You can take 64, you can take Route 6. If you know the highway real well, you can take 522 to 620.
The way they work on our highways, you probably can't take that way no more.
Shout out to my people in Louisiana and Gooseland, No Ball Fairground Road. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's dope, man.
Yeah, I definitely do. And like you saying, like you have to, parents, you have to be involved into this way more than the kids do. I know there's a lot of kids out there. They are the most vocal point of this, and their parent and their mom just sitting back. She's like, whatever you think is good, I'll go with what you good. Yeah. Mom, don't do that, because this boy, he still needs some type of guidance. So you may need to find, if you're not into that and you don't know a lot about that, you may need to go talk to somebody to make sure that boy is not getting scammed out his blessings. Because a lot of these people will attach their stuff on these athletes and stuff like that, and they will ride your child.
I agree.
They will ride your child, and they will make your child even forget that you was even in there thinking about them. I'm just saying, parents, get out there, help these kids make it to this next level, because even also let them know that the next level may not be pro. It's so many different avenues to taking these channels when you can branch off into even being a sports athlete. Athletics, stretching like the doctors and stuff, like trainers and stuff like that, to even being a assistant coach or even being a scout. Even being a scout, you can go through these channels and you might be a scout. And scouts make good money, y'all. Scouts make good money, and you can they put you room and board, put you up in the hotels and stuff like that, and they send you all overseas because that's where all the players at there. So imagine you get to go overseas on them. So y'all take these channels and thinking that, well, like I don't got enough talent to make it like that. So why? No, bro, it's way more avenues, it's way more branches to taking that. Everybody not gonna be LeBron. Somebody gotta be Booby Miles.
Booby Gibson.
Booby Gibson.
Booby Miles Friday night. Don't be Booby Miles and blow your knee out.
And it's a lot of what you're saying is kind of what I'm selling to kids that I think have that potential. Because see, like now, and I'll use Chris Jones. Shout out to Chris Jones and his family. He's great. He graduated from Fairfax early in December, and he's doing his second semester as a freshman at Georgia. And this kid's very bright. He's on pace to probably graduate in 3 years. So if he does redshirt and play 5 years, we're talking about a kid with a master's.
Yeah.
I project him as an NFL kid, but if for some reason that's not his route, a kid like him could go in GA for 2 years and come out with a doctorate.
Come on now.
At 24.
Come on.
And so if that's your consolation prize from
actually giving your blood, sweat, and tears to the game.
You see what I'm saying? So that's for me, I'm pitching that as, hey, just in case that NFL doesn't go, here's the route that you can take, and you can have these 2 or 3 degrees from this prestigious school and still live that NFL football player life, even if you're not.
So why I got you on that subject real quick, pardon me, Trey.
I'm sorry.
No, you good, pardon me. Are you willing, or matter of fact, are you capable of explaining to the audience some of the kids, or they're grown men now, over the years that have came through various programs that you've had going on? I don't know if it's, if you're allowed to say names or have you.
No, I mean, it's just, it's been a lot of guys
I don't think we really know your resume, bro. And like I said, I know it because I, was there step by step. But.
And they all kind of have something in common, but I'll name a few. And, if I don't name everybody, please forgive me. But,
we love all y'all.
But, like, Deshaun Hand, who super strong father, Sharif Hand, and you know,
Salute to
Matthew
Reef,
Burrell,
sure.
who's playing for the Memphis Showboats in the UFL. Super strong dad, right?
Shout out to Big Mac.
You know, Tim Settle, I didn't coach him, but he worked out with us, and you know, great family. Like they all have something in common, right? Josh Ball, great dad, great family.
Salute to Josh,
Playing
too.
with Dallas, and you know, and it's just been a lot of guys that I've been able to, you know, work with and be around to different levels. You know, Deshaun was a kid that was in my basement doing shoulder taps at 14, and just I would call his show every day. No, this kid's
He's just the one.
you know, and shout out to him. He just
Sean,
signed with the
they
Dolphins.
6'5", 270, less than 12% body fat or something.
And, you know,
Some crazy shit.
all the
Look
way
like
up
that
to,
wrestler.
you know, Tony Rojas, who played at Fairfax, and he's killing it at Penn State right now. Great kid, super humble. He's going to make it. I mean, I'm not a betting guy, but if I would put the house on him.
That's right.
On and off the field. He's got it. You know, even up to Chris Jones now, you know, and real good friend of mine, you know, Kevin Jones. Kevin Jones. Kevin Johnson. Kevin Jones is my friend also. But you know, Kevin Johnson,
Salute to
KJ.
KJ.
Yeah, man, he's to me the best trainer in the world, and him and I have just linked up and just worked with a bunch of kids, man. Sean Asbury, that's at Indiana. I mean, it's just a bunch of guys. Swinton is at Eastern Michigan now, you know.
Okay.
But like, you know, you got to keep up with it.
Yeah.
It is
They
it's
move
the
around.
chance now, yeah. But it's been a lot of kids, man, and I'm leaving a lot of guys out. Ricky Slade,
Oh,
you know,
man, Ricky,
I knew
man.
Ricky Slade was good when Ricky Slade was still probably drinking juicy juices and eating Lunchables. It was like, this guy's amazing,
That's it.
you know.
I mean, he was a little
Quarterback
Bo
7,
Jackson.
quarterback 7.
He was
huh?
little league Bo Jackson.
Yeah, I was watching Little League football. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, if you can believe him calling my
Sex
friends
football.
about,
Yeah.
you know, Pee Wee football. You knew that kid was special. But you know, all of those kids have something in common, and they all have really strong fathers who kept those guys, you know, going in the right direction. And you know, no matter whether it's like a really close relationship, like with Deshaun, or just guys that I've helped along the way, like I've always noticed, like, man, those dads always kept those guys focused. And not
helps.
only do all of those guys play in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken, all of them are either graduated or within like credits of it.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like I'm in the league and I might be taking a couple classes, but
Yeah.
all
But
of them
still,
are right there.
I'm still in doing it.
Right.
I'm in the
that's
league.
good.
I'm in the league and I'm
And
still
I'm
putting
working
that work
towards
in.
it.
Yeah, so everybody's either there or within a semester of being there. And for me, that's really what it's all about, because you get frontage or NFL money, but the reality is you're only going to play between 5 and 10
Come on
years
now.
if you're lucky.
It's bigger than the game.
You gotta
So
get attention.
you got to be able to do something with the money that they fronted you, and then that's where the college comes in theoretically.
And time. Because you make it to the league, you get the, how much time with it, you get, how many months you get off?
Well, if you're lucky, you play to February.
You play-
and
yeah,
then
you're lucky,
you get back
yeah.
to
Yeah.
voluntary
That's-
camp
I'm-
around June,
That's
so
what
you
I'm
get
saying.
most of the
a
winter
good
off.
3-4 months off. Why
It's
not
almost like a
continue
teacher
that
schedule.
education? You know what I'm
In a
saying?
sense.
For all those guys who still rookies and up to 4 years in the league, remember, you ain't got there yet. You can't.
Yeah.
You making break that foot right now. I'm telling you, more contracts coming out of there. You know what I'm saying? You can't get that foot to be the same foot that you were bouncing on since you was
100%.
that a youngin. So you still have to go through those channels. A lot of y'all leave early, but hey, don't forget, you still can go back and pay for your education while you're getting those checks. Go to some automatic and tell them, hey, don't look, even though I left early, hey, I still want to keep some type of relationship so I can come in and get these courses that I left behind and still take them. And a lot of those, you can get that on the table before you even sign on the dotted line and say, I'm coming to the school. Just in case I do leave, hey, make sure I can still come back in here and get my education.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can let them, oh yeah, set them up now. Talk that, we can talk to them.
And a lot of times you can do it remote now, as opposed to when we were coming through, we would have to actually sit in the classes in the summertime because that option wasn't even available. So
Okay.
I think at this point, you know, if a young man or a student athlete or young female, if any student athlete doesn't further their education, that's a choice that they make. And they're within their right to do so, but ultimately I think it's never a bad thing to have too much education or too much knowledge, especially if you want to be professional and master your craft. You can't get put up on too much game.
Go to class.
And I hope that that's what these kids today take away from all of this access to everything. Put a little bit more information in there too. You know what I mean? While we watching a lot of the videos and a lot of different content, and people living their best life on the internet, like you said earlier. There's no excuse when all of the information is right there.
So I want to get to it now. We got a guest here.
Mm-hmm.
What's your football team?
New England Patriots.
Ah, dang!
You really wanted to ask that question?
Oh Lord, man!
Number 3 pick. And I hope you ask me who I hope about my.
And that's
pick.
when we ready to go to the free agency right now. NFL free agency. We want to talk about that. We want to get in that channel because that's the next level to these kids who actually did what they supposed to do. Went through the whole process, went through the grit, went through the coaching process, went through the portals, went through darts, all the people who weren't good for them. These kids balled out, and now it's their time to get drafted. I was just watching the combine. Boy, I swear to God. I swear to God, it was some kids where they didn't need no school. Y'all lucky these kids had to go to school. There's a kid running a 4.2 out. He wake up running a 4.2. I swear to God, he just broke the record 4.2-1. He wake up running a 4.2. He ain't need none of us.
Was he from Clemson? Huh? Was he from Clemson?
Kid from Texas.
Texas, yeah, Worthy. He ain't need none of us. He need nobody. He need nobody to say, I think you got it. I know I got it. I run faster than anybody around me.
Just kept on running home.
Just run home. Look at that kid run. I'm pretty sure they see that kid running a lot.
You can't teach a 4.2.
You can't teach a 4.2. That ain't something you can coach. And so these kids out here now, so we got some good draft picks coming in. I'm a Atlanta Falcon fan, just for you to know, Coach. So I was liking you all the way up until this point right here. Because you was a Duke fan. We was a Duke fan, so I liked you all the way to this point right here. We just was talking about you before you came in. We just talking about how I stole my Super Bowl and
everything. I
everything.
tell you what, though, those Falcons got some good skill positions.
Come on now.
Now they just got to get somebody to run block for.
Man, yeah, that's what we gonna, man. I swear to God.
And it's not always the sexy pick, but getting that offensive guard is a lot of times what get you over the hump.
So feel free to school us on some of the best free agent pickups so far because I've been on my
opinion.
Because I've been on my because like I said, this is my real dog, right? Like I've been on my Kaepernick for years.
So I'll just go with one because I'm not you don't always win when you win free agency, but I will say this, as a defensive guy, if I have to get ready for Baltimore now, I won't get much sleep. That zone read with that quarterback and now with Derrick Henry, you have to go man coverage now just to think about containing the run, which now if I'm a wide receiver, I'm jumping for joy. So for me, they won free agency.
Now who they got at wide out? Because they lost Marquise Brown.
Well, they did, and so that's what I personally think that they're going to spend their first round pick on. As a guy that can maybe, you guys.
What about the kid they drafted last year? What's his name? Zay Flowers?
Yeah, and he's a good player, but I think what they need now is somebody to stretch a defense. Yeah. He's a good route runner,
below the top
receiver, but now somebody that can run a go and say so that's my that's what I think.
Yeah, so you say your top pick in free agency is Derrick Henry.
Absolutely.
Man, I swear to God, because when they get cold, that's that north.
Yeah.
That's that north. Y'all understand? You want to play football.
17-13. You got field possession.
When it's darn 5 degrees outside. And it's nose to nose football at this point. It's like we can't even throw it because it's snowing outside. So you gotta run it. I feel sorry for all y'all boys out there. I need y'all to get in the gym because this dog they just picked up is gonna run through y'all. And I'm talking about them pants.
So imagine after carry 17, now the kid pulls it and runs.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
So for me, I think they definitely.
I think every outside linebacker in the AFC North is pissed right now.
Well, the defensive coordinators are going to have to alter their defense when they play.
Oh yeah.
What would you call against it?
I mean, you really have to put 8 in the box.
Ooh.
You're not going to beat me running Derrick Henry and your quarterback. You're going to have to beat me with him throwing for 370 yards. I can explain to a general manager, hey, look, man, it is what it is, but I'm not going to let both of those guys run for 150.
No, you can't explain to 400 scrimmage yards.
So when you put in a position like that, you got to pick your poison. Now, let's say they do find a receiver who can really control the field, or even a possession receiver.
Can Jackson give it to
Well,
him?
they have a possession receiver, but if they get that first thing you were talking about, that's when they become, in my opinion, that Super Bowl caliber team. Because then you still have to pick your poison. But then
That's
your
what I was
poison, it's like the old Cowboys from the late '90s. It's, a lot of times they pick their poison. Their poison was Michael Irvin. Okay. That's how you win, right? So that's just kind of where they are.
You need more than one. You need more than one now in this day and age. I think Michael Irvin needed somebody beside Michael Irvin.
Oh no, he had
Harper and
I'm
Novacek.
I'm talking about, but nowadays,
they
would have
now,
been. They had it been AJ Brown out the side.
right.
You
And
know what I'm
that's-
saying?
well, the game is kind of, and I don't want to get too technical, but it's moved from 11 and 12 personnel to more now 10 personnel, where you got 4 wide receivers and that running back who can catch out of the backfield.
Gone.
The Rams kind of changed the game in 2000, 99.
Oh, the greatest hero on
Because
turf.
Falk catch outside that backfield, he gone.
Marshall Faulk forced linebackers to look different.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at old pictures from the '90s and look at middle linebackers and look at middle linebackers now, they look very different because of Marshall Faulk.
Yeah,
So-
you couldn't move. You can't move your feet with Marshall Falk. That's your butt.
So is that the same thing with defensive ends and like Mike Vick?
Absolutely.
Like,
Took ACLs out the game.
yeah, because you looking like a JPP or somebody like a Justin Tuck. Like those guys are way smaller than the Jerry Balls and the Pat Swillens from the late '90s or what have you. So I
That's
was
what
wondering.
You needed, well, even more than that. Again, I don't want to get too technical, but
Oh,
you
no.
needed your interior guys to be able to bump from 1 techniques to 3 techniques, meaning from A gap to B gap.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard, and I love Ted Washington and guys like Vince Wilfork, but you can't really do that. So, like now, when those guys were motioning, they're flipping that 3 technique now has to haul tail to the other side of the field, and so that's what you were seeing with the Rams back in the day when they were shifting so much. They were like, yeah, go ahead, put Vince Wilfork in B gap and let's see how good he is, and that's what they were trying to do to the Patriots. So it's just things like that. So it's like for guys like me, it's like, okay, no problem.
So
I'm going to get 2 athletic guys and just let those guys shift now.
So
Okay.
are them boys disappearing? Are they now? They're
They're
gonna
not dinosaurs, but the big guys you see now can move.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like
yeah. Because I'm looking like on my player on the Falcons. Speaking about Falcons, Grady Jerry. You know what I'm saying? We got he's a hole stopper, but at the same time he rolled them hips.
Okay.
He rolled them hips. He kept-
Deceptively fast.
Deceptively
Those
fast.
first 3 steps
He-
is just as fast as anybody on the field,
Mhm.
right? So, but that is it's kind of like the big man in basketball. They're not
They're
disappearing;
not the
they're
same.
just
Yeah,
evolving.
they just evolving. Yeah, they just evolving. You gotta run a 4.6 or 4.5. You on that outside. I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell them boys come around that corner. Bijan come around that corner, and I'm trying to tell you, if you can't do nothing to move them hips, he gone.
Well, you talking about outside. Shout out to Deshaun Hand. He's a 3 technique and a 4 and he's running a 4.6.
Oh.
So I mean, and, like we're talking about the NFL. I mean,
And he
these
running
outside
4.6.
backers now 4 or 5
Real.
guys. Yeah.
Real. I'm looking at the one from Alabama because we got the 8 pick coming up, and I'm looking at the kid from Alabama, Turner. He's an outside linebacker. And he's a dog. He's another dog. And I watched him 40s heavy with them boys like that. And you gotta run a 4.6 or 4.5 or 4.7. A 4.7 is like it's a head scratcher. Can I take you? What else do you do good?
So if they're equated to basketball, it's like, is that now like how even a big man got to shoot the 20-footer or be able to hit the 3?
If you design your offense to be, the way these offenses are mostly designed, that big man really has to shoot a 3, or you really gonna slow our whole offense down.
Okay.
If I can't spread that man out the hole, and you blocking on my hole, and I got all these guys coming in, slashing here, slashing there, and I got you in here just not doing nothing.
So is the fullback and the tight end basically the traditional tight end, not how Gronk and Travis Kelce and those guys stretch the field today, but like the traditional tight end and the old school like Lorenzo Neal type fullback. Are those like obsolete, like back to the basket in the NBA in the 90s?
In a sense, those guys are now H-backs and they've become more of a Keith Byers.
Okay.
Spence, where they can line up in our formation and rock some heads on 3rd and 1, but you can but you can also kind of bump them out, put them in like a B motion, and then take them out on a wheel route and still throw it to them.
Right.
So again, it's just more of an evolution. It's still guys like Owen Schmidt out there, but now they're just being asked to do more.
Yeah.
Because teams aren't staying in our formation for 35 plays as much. I mean, you still have those games in the snow where you just line up and do that, but Not as much.
You already did blocking tight end too much no more. You get that left tackle to do that most of the time. That extra left tackle, bring him in.
Well, you do want
Yeah.
the guy.
Belichick way.
Yeah, the Belichick way.
3 tight ends on the field.
You want the guy that can do both because that's how your RPO works, your run pass option. And so if you have a tight end that's a very good down blocker, it can become difficult as an outside backer to see the difference between a down block and now I'm just running a tight slant.
Yeah.
Right? So when you have that guy like a Kelsey that can block and then run a route, you know, at certain tight ends, you're like, yeah, I wish he would try to come block. Right? But at certain tight ends, it's like, whew, all right, let me make sure he's not coming. Let me, you know, make the call if he's coming to crack.
You hear that pitch? I need you to block, boy. I was catching you pitch ducking in some of this smoke out here. You too big for that, bro.
And so when you see sometimes when you watch games, especially in college, where that running back is just running off tackle at will, a lot of times is they are going 11 personnel and their tight end is just down blocking that guy all the way to B gap and a fast back is gone.
Gone. The game is developing, man. We got so many good draft picks ready to come into the league. So many good guys is ready to establish themselves as GOATs. So in this draft right now, because they talking about, there's a lot of GOATs in this draft. They talking about the quarterback. They said, well, this is the best quarterback players. They're always saying it's the best quarterback players we've seen in a long time. And then a lot of these guys get into the league and be...
Hold the clipboard.
Come on now. Some of them need the whole clipboard. I mean, I think we be putting them in too early sometimes, and they don't get the time to develop. Cause shout out to Love. Look at that development did to him. Him holding that clipboard and him not throwing him into the line of fire. He has now being able to establish himself as the quarterback that he was always going to be. He just gave himself time, and there, look, he got paid. Cause free agency, did they give him some money yet?
Who was that?
Green Bay, Jordan Love.
Yeah, I thought they paid him last year, right?
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, a lot of that is that I think the average person doesn't understand how difficult it is as a quarterback to pick up a playbook. It's difficult in any position, but as a quarterback, you have to know what everybody is, right?
Yeah.
And so you get drafted in the spring, you come in, you have your rookie camp, and now week 1 you're ready to run a team. That's very difficult. There are some special people that are able to do it. That's the difficult ask, whether you're a first round pick or a 7th round pick. So when you are able to come in and learn from a veteran that, you know, maybe has a year or 2 left on his contract and take that time to learn, almost like being on JV for a year.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you come in that 2nd year. Physically, you still have a lot to prove, but now you at least know, you know, with the expectations.
So it's like an academic red shirt kind of.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, you know, as a first round pick, yeah, I get it. You make an investment in that kid, but if you want the long term investment to pan out, then you don't want to just go try him out there because he's going to do what he did in college because that's what got him to where he is now.
And a lot of them will show you that talent if they can develop because they be hiding from the scouts and everything like that when they top prospects. They don't want to show. They don't know. They just standing on business saying, "Hey, yo, what I showed you on film on college, you gonna look at that and gonna go what you know, because I'm not showing you nothing else." But I feel like a lot of them, I like the kids that don't run from none of the smoke. They come out there showing them exactly, this is what I is, this is what I am, because I want you to know what I'm going to bring to the table. So when I get there, if you need me to use me early, you wouldn't know what already, I'm going to show you what you already need to tweak me on when I get there.
Yeah.
Then these guys hide the tweaking, and then when they finally get there, they be like, I didn't know you throw like that. I didn't know your mechanics when you throw off the hip like that. If I'd have seen you do that to combine, I probably wouldn't even took you because I know what that sign is.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a kid, you know?
Yeah.
That's bad mannerisms right there. Who told you that? When you start doing that?
And you hit on this earlier. That's why scouts get paid so much money.
And that's why scouts get paid so
That's
much
why
money.
that's why they making good living
why they
because
should.
they get paid to read between that. Because see, it's that kid and his family and his agent's job to always put that kid in the highest
Always
light.
gonna tell you he's the best of the best.
It's the scout to find the difference between the number 1 and number 2 and number 2 and number 10 play.
If I'm a scout, I'm gonna tell you all my kids are Black Jesus. I'm trying to tell you right now. The kid I bring you, you ain't never seen.
But you gotta look at it like this as a scout, okay? If I tell you, hey, these are the kid's strengths. He's strong. He's a great run blocking. He has a great attitude. Here's his weaknesses. His feet aren't the best. So on twists and things, sometimes he gets confused. But then you draft him and he's great on the run blocking. He gets confused on the twist. Would you take another player from him?
Come on now. Nah, because it's important. There's a lot of important things to what he just said. If he can go, everybody can pass him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's certain techniques that he probably will learn eventually eventually in the league. You get that 4 years on his belt because you ain't throwing him in too early. And the only people who get thrown in too early sometimes is the quarterback. These cornerbacks, they get drafted. They sit behind another cornerback about 4 years. We don't even know. They be like, where this kid come from? He been ready, but they set him out. And then he actually, the thing that he was his weakness when they found him is now he's good because he's learning. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where the player development comes.
Yeah, you gotta have that player development.
And I think that's something that's understated in all athletics is the behind the scenes work and who is training and teaching you how to get to the ultimate goal of being your optimal self.
So, who you got, Coach? Who you got? Who is that quarterback in that draft right now? You know, we got Caleb Williams. We got Durgon. What's the boy from LSU? Jalen. We got J.J. McCarthy. We got Mays. There's a whole bunch of them. Who is the dude you gonna speak on right there and say, yo, if I had the GM and my Patriots, y'all looking for a quarterback, I think y'all just seen your boy. I don't know where y'all sent. Y'all went to go send him somewhere. He gonna rest. He gonna hold a clipboard for a long time. Yeah. He gonna go down there. The clipboard is gonna be strong.
He going down there to golf.
He going down there to golf. They send him to Japan. You right.
He going down there to golf.
He from Florida. That's the best time to be a secretary. Is to go so it's nice weather. You know what I'm saying? But
hold the clipboard in the
yeah, man. Mark Jones, they got his gone. But
yeah,
who you got?
So I am a Jalen fan, even from his Arizona State days. Always been a fan of him, his work ethic. I think he's going to be a great player. But outside of the quarterback, I sure hope the Patriots get Marvin Harrison Jr. Listen, we can get Show to throw him the ball. Show to throw him the ball. Jacoby Brissett can get that kid.
Jacoby Brissett is the most hated on quarterback, man. Jacoby Brissett, they bring you in and you do your thing every time. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring up quarterback in and he gonna start over you. He gonna get injured and you gonna lead them the rest of the year and they're gonna trade you.
You know what Brissett is? He's a combination of sober Quincy Carter and Tyrod Taylor.
You said a sober Quincy Carter?
Clean Quincy.
Man, I feel sorry for him, man. The coaches, that's his team right now. He play good.
You know, to be honest, not to get in my GM mode, man.
We need you in
there. To be honest, you know, you get a kid like a Marvin Harrison in the first round, and you knock on wood and hope you can get a kid like a Blake Corum from Michigan in that second round. You can get a veteran quarterback.
Y'all did a good job out of getting picks for that sitting over there. So I got picks for that
So
quarterback.
you can, you know, and then the defense isn't bad in New England.
And I know you used to that. You used to pick it late anyway.
But that's really where you get your jibs. That's where player development comes, right? Like you get that 5th or 6th round pick. You guys were asking me about players I work with, Silas Johnson. Shout out to him. That's in Tampa Bay. And Silas is in Tampa Bay. And there was some things he had to work on coming out of college. But he's going to be really scary because the player development is good in Tampa Bay. And once he fixed those things, he's going to be a guy like, oh, that guy from Tech is doing really good. You know, so it just comes to, if you have good player development, you win in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. If you don't, then you tend to rely on free agents.
Okay. So that's a good
hell of a breakdown, man.
That's good. That's good GMing.
That's why you are who you are as a coach, man. You know what I mean? I was grateful when you said you were able to pull up. I said, no, we gotta get a full segment with Coach in, man, so that way we can just pick your brain. Because, like I said, I've been on my Kaepernick shit. I don't even follow the NFL as well.
Come on now.
Yeah, man. I was so disgusted by it. And to be honest with you, I was a diehard Buffalo fan, like I said. This is the year before Josh Allen got quote-unquote what they call good. Because I think Josh Allen is like Steve DeBerg. He's just taller. You know what I mean?
Steve DeBerg.
Shout out to Steve DeBerg.
Who's
Man,
Steve
he was the quarterback for the Chiefs back in the day.
Okay.
But you know, but because of Buffalo, he never got his just due. Because Buffalo always take them out.
That's what I just telling him. I told him, I asked him a question. I said, if you had the pick, if you can go to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row or not go to the playoffs at all, as a fan, what would you rather your team do?
I'm also a Utah Jazz fan. I'm always going to go to the championship. I'm never, whether it's me professionally or just as a fan, I'm never going to be good with tanking. That's why it's tough to be a Jazz fan right
You
now.
feel like they tanking.
Yeah, I'm not. You're never gonna catch me losing on purpose, even if it's against
That's
my
crazy.
4-year-old
Y'all
daughter.
still
I'm trying to win.
only 5 games out of the 10 seed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because no matter who you put on the court, they're gonna put out their best effort because those guys are playing
guys
for
are
pride,
professionals,
right?
yeah.
But you can see as a GM,
As a
what's
GM,
going
what
on,
you doing?
right?
You ain't bring nobody in.
And plus, anybody ever been to Utah know it ain't shit else out there to distract you other than. But anyway, ain't too much out there. I mean, there's some stuff out there to distract you, but if you can keep your mind off that, you in good shape.
It's the perfect place to concentrate on your profession.
Yeah,
Come on now, come on now. So we know. So you a Jazz fan? Who you got going to the NBA championship then?
I think that if Milwaukee can get Chris Middleton legitimately healthy by the playoffs, I do think they have the team that can beat Boston.
I'm just gonna be honest. I don't believe in Doc at all. I think Doc is. He should have stayed with Dorsberg.
I believe
doing the shows on Sundays.
Show and tell you, I felt like this since his rookie year. I believe in Giannis in Game 7 more than I'm skeptical of the coaching in Game 7.
You see that heart. You see that dedication.
Right, and he gets the best out of his role players, and I think at some point Dame will kind of get it. I think he's in that
As
process.
a Portland fan, y'all got hosed. Y'all gonna find out who Dame is in a few minutes. Dame is.
He's got to play some defense.
He Nick Van Exel in this era.
You got to.
He Nick Van Exel.
Fair. That's fair.
He can drop 30 and get 28, drop right back on him. So it's really only worth 2 points.
Listen, maybe it's a hot take, but I'm telling you, if the Clippers get healthy at the right time, there's nothing holding them back from winning.
I'll take whatever you want on that. And I know you ain't no gambling man, so it could be
I don't
a
gamble,
gallon
but
of sweet tea.
They got it.
The only
whatever
reason
you
I
wanna
say
bet on
that,
that.
the only
I know
reason
why
I
I'm
say
saying
that is I've seen Kawhi against a bunch of people with a bunch of people that really want it, and that's the recipe for winning against no matter who you're going to. And with the Spurs, right? I remember at the time people kind of felt like, kind of what Golden State is now at the end, and he kind of willed that old team to another championship and should have got 2. To be honest with you, shout out to Ray Allen. But then I seen him do it in Toronto too with just a bunch of guys who really wanted it. And so when I'm looking at him with the Clippers, for good or for bad, it's a bunch of guys that's desperate to win.
They do, but they also is desperate to sit the bitch and hold that hamstring that they always put in. You got too many guys around here, including himself, that when you get to that point where you got all the eggs in the basket, they are the ones that start cramping up and start saying, yo, I need to sit down for a game or 2. And those game or 2 be critical to them not making it over that hump.
But right now, you got those 4 guys, Paul George, right? Westbrook off the bench. You got Kawhi, and you got Harden. Those guys feel healthy in the playoffs, and they actually like each other. And if I'm not mistaken, are those guys all California guys?
All LA guys. They slick. They think they slick. I'm a Laker fan.
It's gonna be tough to beat those guys at home, man.
I can't wait for them to get out of my. I can't wait for them to get out of my arena. I can't wait for them. They finally gonna get a new arena next year. New jerseys. I know they think they sneaky. They're trying to win it all and take it over there. Nah.
The owner of the team is finally a guy that deserves a team.
Huh?
The owner of that team is finally a guy that deserves his own team.
Oh, you're right. They love him. They think he can be able to stay. What's that,
think,
Bomber?
Yeah.
What was the Kawhi injury the other night?
I'm not sure.
Oh, Kawhi just so happened to get hurt the other night?
Well, it's a real injury, but whatever. I'm not sure the exact.
Because they said back spasm initially.
Oh, Lord.
But I don't think he's out for a significant amount of time.
Man,
so
let me shout out to my pop.
You know.
And I think.
But I can't get on Kawhi because Kawhi's been playing a lot.
And I think people don't remember that when you talk about Kawhi in 2016 when Golden State went 73-9. San Antonio was 69-13. They only lost 4 more games than them. And them, along with the 86 Celtics, are the only 2 teams to go 40-1 in the season at home. And Kawhi had no major big names in that 2016 season balling with them. I mean, everybody was still there, but they weren't in their prime. I'm talking about the year that.
That's the older year.
And that's the year that he got. That's the year he got hurt with.
Thinking that maybe the dynasty is over. And Kawhi
that was
just rejuvenated.
Yeah, that was the Zaza Pachulia year when he hurt his foot.
Yeah.
I still think that was on purpose.
Oh yeah,
Somebody's
absolutely.
gonna have to.
Like Skip Bayless to say, Zaza for cheap shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. As a guy who's been guilty of a cheap shot or two in my career,
Shout out to
when I
you
see
know
one.
when you see one, right?
Let me leave that alone.
And I-
Go
but it's also critical that you need those type of players when you get to that point because, like I said, I know what's the weakness of the Clippers, and that's injuries. And if they can get one of y'all to sit y'all butt down for a game or two, we gonna do it. And I ain't saying that they out there head hunting or paying players, Draymond Green, to hurt other players, but sometimes you need that Dennis Rodman to say, "Hey,
Well, they
bro."
got the young kid now because Draymond too hot. So
And I can't see Zubac winning nothing.
He said they got a
yeah,
sniper. They got a young kid.
Kaminga out there.
Oh yeah,
doing
Being sneaky.
Yeah, you
Being
see
sneaky.
Draymond over there whispering to him.
Yeah, they own to me, so it's up
Yeah,
to
you
you, right?
got it now.
But I can't see Zubac holding up a trophy at the end of no season in NBA history. I just don't see it.
Hey, better not be. I'm a Laker fan. I don't want to see
Zubac.
nobody that we used to have getting trophies.
I
Shout out
watched
to
Mark Madsen hold one up.
KCP just hold one up on
you
me.
gotta
I hate
hold
to see
Mark.
my Laker players winning without us. I hate it. Cause they're everywhere. We got a lot of scattered guys. Shout out to my boy. You got my boy Parsons. Not Parsons. Carson.
Oh, you talking
on
about
the
Taylor
Jazz.
Tucker?
On the Jazz.
Talking about Horton Tucker?
They're both of them.
We got Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan
and
Clarkson.
Horton
Clarkson.
That's the one I want back. You can keep Tucker. I want Jordan.
You know,
I want Jordan back.
You know, but I forget that Tucker's only 23 sometimes when I criticize him.
Yeah,
He's-
they act
we
like
got-
they're
yeah, we
old.
found he was a gem.
He's
He
a
was a
puppy
gem.
with big paws, right?
Yeah.
Clarkson's a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all got
You know, and I feel bad that we're not doing right by. I mean, we did right by him financially, but
Right.
he deserves to be on the winner.
He missing a lot of key
He's a puppy, man. Like
playing
you,
time. in the
you, know,
playoffs.
So
you
it's-
put a guy like him on Boston, like now all of a sudden I changed my mind about.
Oh,
You know,
Perfect segue. As we get ready to get out of here in a few minutes, real quick, Coach, and for you as well, Trey, who do you all got in the finals? I know we talk about the Western Conference, but if you have to name what you expect the finals to be right here today, who are the two teams, who win, how many games, who the MVP? I think that's a good closing question for today.
Milwaukee in 7, just so everybody can leave Doc alone. Over the Clippers, and Giannis is a triple-double all the way through the finals.
so you got Clippers in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
All right, I got Lakers in Boston. Lakers in 7, game 7.
I think that's what the league wants.
That's what I want to see so
100%.
bad.
They will make a video game out of that if it happens. It's Lakers versus Celtics 2024.
LeBron, think about it. LeBron ain't had his Celtics on the Lakers. Every goal on the Lakers need that run, need that series. You gotta have that series to be considered even a Laker.
If they get that
point.
7th seed and they play Oklahoma in the first round, that is a really
Cause we
tough
gonna-
first
yeah,
round series.
We gotta take
That's
that.
a really
I
tough
think
first round
I
series.
think is Cat gonna be out for a long period of time now?
I think
Yeah,
he'll be
meniscus
back for the
is-
playoffs.
I need them to stay
But
at number one.
meniscus, he still might not be.
Yeah,
They said
it'll be
meniscus, but I
close.
don't think it's a complete tear.
It's not. Yeah, I think it'll be game time.
But
Out of
definitely, I got my Lakers. They got to go against Minnesota or OKC. Now, OKC is a strong team, but they're young and they ain't been there yet. And I know that I got some guys on my team that know how to play through a 7-game series. And I'm gonna give us the head nod of going against those number 1 seeds. So y'all better buckle up. If we gotta go through this play-in game to get there, so be it. But guess what? When we get to that 7 seed or that 8 seed, and we playing one of y'all better scrap up.
So I gotta ask you guys. I gotta flip it back to you guys. Who does SGA remind you guys from the past?
Nobody.
He's a guy, man.
He's the guy.
He now watching him score gives me Mitch Richmond vibes, but he plays defense too. So
He's shorter. I mean, he don't have the physical frame of Melo, but just his ability to score anybody any way he wants to. I think Knicks Melo is the last time I seen one player that really hold it down like that. We got about 2 minutes, so real quick, I'm gonna just tell you my finals prediction, and we'll get into it in detail next week. I really think Denver coming out the West, despite the fact I love Braun more than anybody in this room. I just think Denver, barring injury, Denver should repeat as champions. And I think they're going to wind up playing Boston. And I think Boston will choke in 6 games because I think Jaylen Brown is actually the dog that they want Jason Tatum to be. But that's a whole nother conversation we can start next week.
Let's get it, man.
So, We'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to our first show here at Who You Got. We'd like to thank Coach Harris for stopping
Thank
in.
you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Shout out to G Money behind the boards, as always, holding us down. And next up, we got sessions from all around the world, hosted by Tahuti.
Yeah, some of the sessions, man, they ready to put on, boy, I swear to God.
Give you all the best music from all the world, Afro beats and Caribbean vibes, everything you can ask for, man. Probably put you in mind of, I don't know, y'all remember, was it Rachel from Caribbean Rhythm? Oh my God. If his song sound like she looked, we in for some good things coming up. So definitely looking forward to who this is coming up next. We thank y'all again here at Who You Got.
Who You Got?
I'm your host, Show, Ice James Morton.
And I'm your boy, Trey City. See y'all next weekend. See ya!
Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Need a third hour.
we got
like
to
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah. We
That was
sitting
dope,
there.
though.
That was nice.